So I filmed a movie recently, and after me and my friends filmed said movie, we were looking for a horror movie to watch. While we were browsing Netflix, we came across the ABCs of Death, and we watched it because it looked silly. To be fair, it was my idea, so I was gonna talk about it because it was even shittier than I thought it was going to be. We turned off the movie about 50 minutes in, but I was so morbidly curious I decided to watch the rest of it. It was just about as good as the first half. For those of you that don't know the premise, it's 26 different horror-themed short films, one for each letter of the alphabet. Probably asking, how can a horror movie take itself seriously with such a stupid premise? They don't? Sometimes? You see, when you have 26 different directors, you're going to be getting a variety of quality and tone. Some of these shorts are absurd to the point of comedy, and some of these are trying to legitimately scare you. So I'm going to go through all the short films in this movie and review them all. Let's go. The movie starts with some children's blocks drifting through blood. Get it? Because it's the alphabet and it's scary. Why aren't you scared yet? A is for apocalypse. Oh yeah, this is going to be a really effective horror story where about the end of the world and the chaos that would ensue. Comedic punchline where the short is not actually any of those things. No, this is about some lady killing her husband for some reason. She throws a frying pan at him. Then she reveals that she's been trying to kill him for months, and that she had to kill him now because the world is ending. This short has these weird shots where they just pan the camera over for no reason and then just pan it back. What was the point of that? In fact, what was the point of this whole short? It barely even had an apocalypse in it. And sadly, this is a running thing throughout the movie. A lot of these shorts have very little to do with what their title is. What is the point of calling this short A is for Apocalypse when, with doing a few simple edits, you can completely cut out the apocalypse from it? B is for Bigfoot. A little girl walks in on her dad making out with some chick, and then the dad goes to put her to sleep. He decides to tell her a scary story so that she won't sneak out of bed again. Then some guy comes to the front door and kills them. It's implied that this guy is the monster they were just talking about, but he's not a monster. He's a guy. Stock scream effect. Girl sees her girlfriend dead and the killer poses for the camera. And then he leaves the girl while the girl falls asleep. I actually kind of enjoy this short because there's some interpretation you could do. I think that the killer is completely inside the girl's imagination because she was scared. That's the only reason I can think of why the killer would suddenly kill her parents but leave the little girl sleeping. Although given the quality of a lot of the other short films, maybe I'm reading too deep into it. So was that guy Bigfoot? C is for Cycle. This one's okay. Nothing great, nothing awful. This guy basically has some weird things happening to him, and then he finds out it's a time loop and that he caused all the weird things to be happening to him. Like I said, this one's pretty mediocre. I mean, there's a few weird directing choices, but ultimately this short is forgettable. D is for Dogfight. I like this one. It's pure schlock. Some tough guy, and you can tell he's tough because he has a dog tag, he's in some underground fighting club and he's got to fight a dog. This whole short is shot in slow motion, which is weird, but it's unique enough that it actually kind of works. So the dog bites the dude's leg and the dude bites back. At this point, me and my friends were all cheering. The guy punches the dog 9 times in the fucking face and then it's knocked out for some reason. There's a baby here as well. Then, all of a sudden, the dog recognizes the guy as his previous owner. And everyone's like, oh shit, including the baby. So then the dog joins forces with the guy and they kill the other dude. Best segment so far, hands down. This is exactly what I wanted from this movie. Somewhat horrific, but mostly silly and fun. If all the shorts were of this quality, I would not be making a video about it. E is for exterminate. So we started off with a CGI spider, and a guy tries killing it, but fails. Then when he's sleeping, the spider lays eggs in his ears, and the guy kills the spider, and all the baby spiders come out of his ears. Nothing remarkable about this short, apart from the awful CGI spider. F is for fart. You can guess how good this short is from the title. G is for gravity. Some dude goes surfing, he drowns. That's the short. Next. H is for high. You know what? I think the whole joke of this short only works if you're trying to guess what the H stands for. If that makes sense. So a furry, stay with me, sees a furry lady. No, seriously, stay with me. And she's a stripper. Why are you all leaving? He tries to flirt with her, and it turns out she's a Nazi. Don't you hate it when that happens? And she traps him in an electro gadget, but then he looks at a picture of what I assume is a relative, which gives him the courage to fight back and throw her into the machine, giving a smug smile at the camera. So, when me and my friends were watching this, we were trying to guess what H stood for, because they only showed the titles at the end of the short. And I bring this up because I think the director of this short anticipated that, because I think the whole joke of this short is that it's really hard to guess what H stands for. By the way, it stands for hydroelectric diffusion. That was one of the few times I laughed during the movie, but I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. This is an okay parody of propaganda movies, I guess, but it just doesn't fit in this movie. I is for ingrown. This is one of the better shorts. Camera works a lot better than the other films, and it actually has somewhat of a scary idea. This guy drugs the girl he has tied up, and she starts itching her fucking skin off and vomiting shit. It's pretty good. Here's the thing, though. It doesn't work when we just got done watching a Yif fanfiction put to film. The J is for Jada Geeky. This one is just stupid. I think they were trying desperately to create a meme, and they actually somewhat succeeded. It became a somewhat popular meme, but it's not funny. Basically, a samurai is about to kill another samurai, and the one who's about to be killed makes some funny faces. That's it. He just makes funny faces for a few minutes. That's it. I guess the makeup's kind of good. I don't know what to say about this one. K is for klutz. This is where my friends quit the movie. I don't blame them, I should have done the same. So this lady takes a shit and it slips around the place and the shit goes back up in her ass. That's the short. Look, what do you want from me? It's a short where shit goes back into the lady's ass. Like, you want serious analysis for this? L is for libido. I actually like this segment. Fuck it, may as well. Basically, two guys have to jerk off in order to live. Yeah, it actually makes you kind of uncomfortable watching it. Uncomfortable in a good way, though. You know, not like a shit going back into an ass. It's memorable. It's horrific. It's all I wanted out of these shorts. M is for miscarriage. A lady shits out a baby in a toilet. Somehow she didn't notice it first, even though she looks right where it would be. It's filler. I mean, it only has like 10 shots in the whole thing. Alright, we're halfway there. Pray for me. N is for nuptial. N is for nuptials? Nuptials? I don't know. This short is like a fucking YouTube sketch. So this guy introduces his girlfriend to this pet bird, and he does some tricks, I guess. And then he uses the bird to propose to this girl, and suddenly, Parrot reveals that he's been cheating on her.
Oh shit! Deiner ist zu groß! Oh shit!
Du blöder Scheißvogel, halt die Fresse! Sag einfach deiner Mama Hallo!
Das fühlt sich gut an, Shane, du bist unglaublich!
Then she murders him. This one kind of made me laugh just because how ridiculous it was. But it doesn't really have much else to offer. O is for orgasm. Now this short is incredibly vague and artsy, so this is just my interpretation of what happened. Some girl, during sex, decides to try and choke herself. That's kinky. But she accidentally kills herself. Look, it's fine to do something different. I don't hate this short simply because it was trying something new and just showing a bunch of different images to get its point across. I hate this short because it has nothing greater to say. You know, most movies that try to do something abstract or non-linear sort of have something to say, but you just took a story of someone dying from autoerotic asphyxiation, but made it artsy. What is this gain? Why does this story deserve this weird artsy presentation? It's the definition of pretentious. P is for pressure. This segment had some good elements, but it also had a whole lot of bad. So this lady is a hooker, and there's lots of shaky cam and fast edits for some reason. Then her boyfriend dies, and I think she has to sell her house? I'm not sure. Then she's brought to shoot a fucking crush porn video. That's an okay twist, I guess. It's kind of funny. I like how this segment doesn't have any dialogue, it just tells the story visually. But it's not really a story at all. It's just things happening. Q is for quack. This one is mindless fun, partly because of how meta it is. So Adam, I don't understand Blair Witch Wingard, and his writer-producer are brainstorming how to make their short film stand out. They decide to actually kill an animal and choose a duck because it quacks, and that starts with the Q. Adam Wingard pusses out and asks the other guy if he can shoot the duck, and he agrees, but he accidentally shoots Adam as Adam shoots him, and they kill each other, and the duck's left standing. Like I said, this one's fun and harmless, not much to say about it. R is for remove. So this burnt guy is tortured by the shitty staff at this hospital, and he kills him. And he dies, and it rains blood for some reason. This short absolutely sucks. I think it's one of the worst, actually. Why? Because I had to rewatch this short twice to even remember what happened in it. Even the worst short films in this movie, like F is for Fart or K is for Klutz, I still remembered those. But I completely forgot about this one. I will take an outwardly bad movie over a boring, forgettable movie any day of the week. S is for speed. Okay, I know I'm calling this whole movie schlock, but this is one of the schlockiest. These girls are on the run for some creepy guy, and he has the stupidest voice.
Langer Zeit bin ich beeindruckt.
Gut, dann kannst du Micha in Ruhe lassen. Sie gehört dir. Sie hat aufgegeben und das weißt du auch. Du blöde Fotze.
He also has the force, I guess, and then he kills one of the girls and some other girl does speed. This is fun. T is for toilet. I don't know if I was just getting dumber as I kept watching the movie, but I was starting to laugh at its ridiculousness during this whole sketch. So this kid is afraid of going... Fucking dog. So this kid is afraid of going to the toilet, and it turns out he has a reason to be, as the toilet becomes a fucking monster that eats his parents. It's revealed that this is a dream, but when a screw falls loose in the cabinet above the toilet, the next time he uses it, he cowers in fear, and then he dies. This is a nice little comedy short. It lasts the right amount of time. It has a somewhat creepy, somewhat silly premise. It's fine. The only thing it does to differentiate itself is being in stop motion. At least this one is creative, because a lot of these short films are just not at all. U is for unearth. I kind of like this one, mainly because it's shot in first person, reminds me a little bit of Hardcore Henry. But the problem is extremely similar to a lot of the other segments, is that it's not memorable. In fact, if this was just shot normally, I would probably not remember this at all. V is for Vegetus. This is one of the best segments, actually. In this future world of 1987, having children is outlawed. Meanwhile, this officer is trying to earn the right to have a baby by being an officer for so long. She's tasked with taking this family into custody, I think. It turns out that the wife has mind control. It's not really explained, but yeah. So while the officer lady is being hypnotized, her police robot brutally murders the fucking family. I just realized how stupid this sounds when I say it out loud. But trust me, it's good. And then it's revealed that the officer lady was approved to have children, but she was actually infertile. Whoops. Jokes aside, I actually kind of enjoy this twist, and honestly, I think this story could have been made into a feature. Just remove the cheesy future effects, and I would love this. This guy orders his partners to revive the baby. Officer lady begs him not to get a shot. The baby gets loose, starts tricking the robot into killing people, and then it's revealed the baby's some sort of prophet. This short leaves a lot of things unexplained, but unlike other segments in this movie, I actually care and want to know these things. When the other segments ended, I was left feeling pissed off, and I felt like the writers just didn't want to give answers to these things. But when this segment ended, I was actually curious as to what I just watched, and it was stuck in my mind for the rest of the film. Although that did sort of lead to me not really being into it for the rest of the film, because I was kind of burned out at that point. I would say this is hands down the best short film in the whole movie. My only problems with it would be the crappy CGI, although that's not really a big deal. And the fact that this is supposed to be a horror short, by the sheer fact that this is in a horror movie, I kind of think that at least some of the intention is to scare you. And if that was one of the intentions, it totally failed. I find it funny that my two biggest problems with this short film are problems that could be rectified if it wasn't in this movie. W is for what the fuck. So this is just the same thing as Q, where the makers of the film try to decide how to make a film for W. The shots are really stilted and it's not funny, especially because we've already seen this joke. It's an excuse to be random, really. X is for XXL. This girl's obese and people keep making fun of her for it, almost to an unrealistic degree.
Mutter, oder? Wenn ich so aussehen würde wie die, dann würde ich mich nicht mehr aus dem Haus trauen. Als Kuh auf der Weide wäre sie gut. Ich verstehe nicht, wie man so aussehen kann. Ey, da hast du recht. Ich wette, die kommt nicht mal die Treppe hier hoch. Geh doch mal ins Fitnesscenter.
So because of all of this, she tries to cut her fat off. I actually kind of like this one. It's an interesting premise, kind of. But at this point during the movie, I was completely worn out. This is another problem with the movie. It's too fucking long. It's over 2 hours long. This movie was a chore to sit through, and I watched it in multiple sittings. As for this short film, it's good, it's memorable, it's just surrounded in a pile of shit. Y is for Young Buck. When I first watched this short, I kind of liked it, and then, but I think my brain was just so exhausted at this point, I would have liked anything the movie would have thrown at me. The only thing I kind of like about it was the storyline with the kid and the deer. I don't really remember this one, but it's whatever. Z is for Zetsumitsu. So apparently Japan has welcomed mutants in this... Hold on, this camera's going to lay the script. Apparently Japan has welcomed mutants into the country and also Nazis. This girl has a huge penis and it kills the other girl with it. It's stupid. This whole fucking movie is stupid. It's so dumb. And I realize a lot of these segments have sort of tongue-in-cheek vibe to them, but that doesn't work when they have some short films that don't have any hint of irony. Another problem is the length of this movie, like I said. It's over 2 fucking hours, and it's a complete slog to get through. This movie should not be that long, especially if you're gonna have segments like F is for fart. At best, you have a bunch of stories with a lot of wasted potential, and at worst, you have a bunch of alphabetically categorized garbage. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, and subscribe. Can this video just fucking end?